Have you ever wondered why working hard isn't enough to get rich? You wake up early, you grind all day, you do everything you're supposed to do. Yet, at the end of the month, your pockets are empty, and you're left wondering, what am I doing wrong? This is exactly how Arkad felt. Arkad wasn't born into royalty. He wasn't a genius, and he certainly wasn't lucky. In the bustling, golden city of Babylon, Arkad was a nobody. He was a simple scribe. Imagine him for a second. It's the middle of the day. The sun is beating down on the dusty streets of Babylon. The heat is unbearable. And there sits Arkad, hunched over a heavy clay tablet. His fingers are cramping. The smell of wet clay and sweat fills the air. For hours, he carves tiny letters into the stone, recording the wealth of other men. Day after day, year after year, Arkad watched the world go by. He saw merchants wearing fine purple robes. He saw gold flowing through the market like water. He saw people eating the finest foods while he chewed on dry bread and onions. One evening, after a particularly long shift, Arkad dropped his carving tool and looked at his hands. They were calloused and tired. He looked into his purse. It was flat, empty. A painful realization hit him like a punch to the gut. He realized that he was a good man. He was a hard worker. He never cheated anyone. But clearly, being good and working hard was not the secret to wealth. If hard work was the key, he should have been the richest man in the city by now. But he was poor. Arkad stood up, dusted off his worn-out tunic, and made a silent vow. He decided that he was done just surviving. He was done watching life happen to everyone else. He realized that there was a secret code to money, a set of rules that the rich knew and the poor did not. And he was going to find it, no matter who he had to ask. One day, opportunity didn't knock. It stomped right through the door. His name was Algamish, the moneylender. He was a man so wealthy that rumors said his gold overflowed from his chests onto the floor. He needed a complex law carved into clay, and he was in a rush. He needed it done within 2 days. Arkad saw his chance, but he was terrified. In Babylon, a poor scribe didn't just speak casually to the rich. You kept your head down. You knew your place. But Arkad remembered the feeling of his empty purse. The pain of his poverty gave him a sudden burst of courage. He looked the wealthy man in the eye and made a bold proposal. "I will carve this tablet for you faster than any man in Babylon," Arkad said, his voice shaking just a little. "I will work all night, but in return, you must tell me the secret. Tell me how you became so rich." Algamish looked at him, surprised. Then he let out a loud, booming laugh that echoed off the stone walls. "You have spirit," the old man said. "It is a deal." That night was the hardest of Arkad's life. While the rest of the city slept, while his friends drank wine and laughed in the taverns, Arkad worked. The oil in his lamp burned low. His back screamed in pain. The smell of dust choked him. His eyes blurred from staring at the tiny symbols for hours on end. Every instinct in his body screamed, "Just go to sleep, it's not worth it. You are just a scribe." But he didn't stop. He carved through the pain. He carved through the exhaustion. When the sun rose, Algamish returned. He saw the finished work and the dark circles under Arkad's eyes. The rich man smiled, not with mockery this time, but with respect. "You have kept your part of the bargain," Algamish said softly. "Now, I will keep mine. Listen closely, my son." Arkad leaned in, his heart pounding. He expected a complex map, a magic spell, or a secret business scheme. Instead, Algamish dropped a truth so simple it actually made Arkad angry. "I found the road to wealth," the old man whispered, "when I decided that a part of all I earn is mine to keep." Arkad stared at him. "That's it?" he asked, frustration rising in his chest. "But all I earn is mine to keep, isn't it?" "No," Algamish snapped back, his voice sharp. "You are wrong. You pay the garment maker. You pay the sandal maker. You pay for your food. You work for everyone else in this city except yourself. You are a slave to your bills." This was the turning point. The conflict wasn't just about working hard. It was about who Arkad was working for. Arkad took the advice to heart. But as he soon found out, knowing the secret is the easy part. Living it is the war. For 12 long months, Arkad fought a daily battle against himself. When he walked through the market, the smell of roasted meat called his name. The bright colors of new tunics tempted his eyes. Every time he wanted to spend, he had to tell himself, "No, this coin is my soldier. It works for me." It was painful. It was boring. But he did it. He saved 1/10 of every single copper coin he earned. Finally, after a year, Algamish returned to the scribe's workshop. "Well, my ambitious friend," the old man asked, "have you paid yourself?" Arkad puffed out his chest, bursting with pride. "I have, master. I saved every month." "Excellent," Algamish nodded. "And where is this gold now?" Arkad smiled, thinking he had made a brilliant move. "I gave it to Asmur, the brickmaker. He is traveling to the far seas to buy rare jewels for cheap. When he returns, we will sell them and split the profit." The room went deadly silent. The smile vanished from Algamish's face. He looked at Arkad, with a mix of pity and anger. "You gave your hard-earned gold to a brickmaker to buy jewels?" Algamish roared. "Would you go to a baker to ask about the stars? No, you go to an astronomer. You have jerked your wealth tree up by the roots, my boy." Arkad's stomach turned. A few days later, the news arrived. Asmur had been tricked. The jewels were just bits of worthless colored glass. Arkad's savings, an entire year of sacrifice, sweat, and denial, were gone in an instant. He was devastated. He felt like the biggest fool in Babylon. He sat in the dirt, head in his hands, ready to give up. The voice in his head screamed, "See? You were born poor. You will die poor. Just buy the new tunic. Just enjoy today." But then something shifted inside him. He looked at the empty space where his money used to be. The pain didn't break him. It hardened him. He realized Algamish wasn't just teaching him how to save money. He was teaching him how to keep it. Arkad stood up. He didn't cry. He didn't complain. He went back to work. He started saving again, copper by copper. But this time, he sought advice only from experts. He invested with the shield maker to buy bronze. He made sure his gold had children, interest that earned more interest. Years passed. His hair turned gray. The lines on his face deepened. One day, Algamish returned for the final time. But he didn't find Arkad, the poor scribe. He found Arkad, a man standing tall, surrounded by his own workers, his own land, and his own destiny. Algamish placed a hand on Arkad's shoulder. "My son," he said softly, "you have learned the lesson. You first learned to live on less than you earn. Then you learned to seek advice from those who are competent. And finally, you have made your gold work for you." The old man smiled, his eyes twinkling. "I am getting old. My own sons only wait for me to die so they can spend my wealth. You have earned it. I want you to manage my estate. You are now the partner of Algamish." The poor scribe was gone. The richest man in Babylon had arrived. Arkad went on to become the richest man in Babylon. Kings and princes came to him for advice, asking how a simple scribe had gathered so much gold while they struggled with debt. Arkad always told them the same thing. He didn't find a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. He didn't win a lottery. He simply built a wall of wealth, one small brick at a time, and defended it against foolishness. Now, I want you to pause and look at your own life. Maybe you are sitting there right now, feeling exactly like Arkad did in the beginning. Maybe you work hard, but your bank account is stagnant. Maybe you feel like the system is rigged against you. But here is the truth that changed Arkad's life, and it can change yours. Money is plentiful for those who understand the simple laws which govern its acquisition. It doesn't matter if you make minimum wage or 6 figures. If you spend everything you earn, you are a slave to the system. Here is your life lesson. Start today, not next week, not when you get a raise. Today. Look at whatever money you have coming in. Take 1/10 of it, just 10%, and hide it away. Pretend it doesn't exist. That money is your employee. It is the only employee that works 24 hours a day, never gets sick, and never complains. If you eat the children of your savings, if you spend the interest your money earns, you will never be free. You have the power to change your destiny, just like the poor scribe who became a legend. But you must be willing to sacrifice your small desires today for your freedom tomorrow. I will leave you with this powerful thought from the dusty tablets of Babylon. A quote to remember every time you feel too lazy to start. Men of action are favored by the goddess of good luck. Don't just wish for wealth. Build it.